Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hobby Night. I'm Angela, and today I have a big frog head to work on. You might remember this guy from the build segment that we did not too long ago. I've started getting some paint onto him, made very little progress, but today hopefully we'll make some more progress. It's lovely to see a couple of you already in chat and hanging out, talking amongst yourselves. How you guys doing this morning, Havman and Luke? Or I guess it's afternoon for me and probably for you too. Might be night for Luke actually. How late is it when I start? You're in the UK if I remember correctly, so like it's 8 hours, so it's gotta be 7 o'clock when I start normally for you. Is that accurate? Some paint on my palette, some gray and white, and we'll go ahead and get started. Let me know how the music sounds, how I sound, etc. 9 p.m.? Got it, okay. I can't do math. Thank you. I'm going very casual today. Very, very casual today. All right, cleaned my brush up a little bit. Let's flip where my paper towel is.
Are we not good enough for you to dress up today?
That's not what it is. It's not that you're not good enough for it. I was just feeling a little bit lazy.
Of course.
And since I know I'm gonna be getting extra dressed up this Saturday for when I stream with Shay, painting some Pokemon, I wanted to save my my efforts a little bit. All sounds good so far? Perfect. Love to hear it. All right. A bit too much on my brush. That's fine. Oh, well, thank you. All right. The main areas on this right now that I'm wanting to actually hit this brighter color with is on the stone portions. The stuff that is like this, even though I've hit it a little bit, it's gonna be metallic, so it's not gonna be as needed to be grisailled. So that's my focus. Also, any side that's like broken or like really damaged where it would be showing the exposed stone underneath, I also want to really kind of hit with this color. Ooh, we immediately need more gray. Hello, Neo. How are you doing today? It's lovely to see you in chat. Okay, let's see. Might need to get a smaller brush actually to get some of these inner details. like that it's implied that somebody came through and like robbed the gems out of this thing, like crown. Maybe they're meant to have like broken off, but it definitely feels like somebody chipped them away. Like maybe they were actually taking them in pieces with the damage that's been done to this one. Also like some stone rock sculpted in the base. My date's been going pretty well so far. Was playing a bit of Dune Awakening earlier this morning before getting started and getting ready for streaming. Been absolutely loving the game. I don't know how many of you have been playing it, but Chaos Cultist and I have. We've been really enjoying it. We just made our first base in the... Well, Chaos Cultist built it. But I have explored with him out there, and we did our first like main run or major run in the deep desert. So we've gotten to that point. Definitely have some concerns for the game, but overall really liking it. Mostly just like long-term objective. Because I'm not sure they know what they want to do long-term. And I'm not sure it's what their player base wants either. I don't know if it aligns. And then I did a little bit of work out in the garden. Made sure they were watered before the afternoon sun hits them. Because the cucumbers especially like to dip. 3 of my 4 sunflowers have opened up. It's very exciting. And yeah, we're just working on a giant lizard head. I mean, I guess technically he's a toad. Technically he's a toad. Working on a giant toad head. Because I've had this thing for a little while now, and it's so cool, and I have some fun ideas for it. Basically, what my idea is, if I don't just paint it up and use it as a cool piece of terrain, which I just don't know how often that's going to happen, so my other idea is to potentially use it in like a diorama, like make a Lizardman diorama. But we'll see what happens. Just going to town against the theme. Really bring out that texture there. I'm gonna end up putting a lot of like foliage, I think, like against this. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Okay, so I don't know how many of you guys have gotten sucked into the Pretty Derby hole that has taken over a lot of streamers' lives, but we're watching... Chaos Cultist is working on the next tutorial, but in the background he also has Ludwig's stream of Pretty Derby going because they're doing a streamer-hosted like competition where everybody has like 3 hours, I think it is.
To train a team.
To train it.
His training's not going well.
Mm-hmm.
And that man is aging before my eyes.
He is. He like hit 30 and like it's just been like the stress has come out. Yeah, it's actually both a flower garden and a herb and vegetable garden. I have cucumbers, tomatoes, 2 varieties of tomatoes, 4 varieties of peppers, and then cucumbers, and then I've got a variety of flowers as well. And then technically, there is succulents in there. I don't know how you qualify that. I don't know if you consider that part of the flower garden or if you consider a succulent garden separate, but I do technically also have a succulent garden. So I've got 2 that have opened up that are really red, like the first picture that I've showed, but the other one actually is it's got a little bit more yellow in it with the red and purples, and it's actually also extremely pretty. I haven't decided which is my favorite. But it's really cool that they bloomed. One of them is leaning really heavily because the posts that I got to support them, I underestimated how tall they were gonna get. So I might need to find additional supports or just let them lean a little bit. Okay, I was being really heavy-handed at first. I'm going to be a little lighter-handed now because I'm going to start building into a little bit of brighter color tones. I don't want to go pure white yet, but we're getting close. Yeah, and I started a couple of other things recently. Some garlic from like seed rather than from the bulb. Or at least I think it's going to. I think it says chives, but then it says like garlic below it. So I don't know if it's going to give me a garlic clove or if it's just going to be green green onions.
They're like label it with the info.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, okay, we'll see what that turns into. And then I also started some like just general like garden beans because I want to do general garden beans. But because I want to do this fall, I'm gonna start doing some like sweet peas because I like edamame and I'd love to try to like make some like homemade edamame. But I figured I'd start and do my tests with like the garden peas because I assume they're gonna grow kind of similarly because they're both a bean. Yeah, that's looking really nice. All right, I do think at this point I need to switch to a little bit of a smaller brush. We're getting into some tighter crevices that this larger round brush is not cutting it for me. Better. Yes, perfect. Doing what I want, everybody. I might need a little bit more paint on my brush. Thank you for subscribing, Dylan Williams. How was everybody's weekend? Did you guys have a good time? Despite it being a holiday weekend here in the US, I didn't really do that much. Oh, I forgot about a little frog friend. Hello, little frog friend. You're so cute. There's a little frog in that eye right there. That's what that little white highlight is. Here, let me see if I can. There he is. Oh, hold on. Oh, he's so tiny. There, I think that's as good as I'm gonna get. He's so cute. I wonder what color I'm gonna end up making him. I haven't decided yet. I have not decided yet. I might end up making him like some sort of like red toad or red frog, just because I feel like the colors on the stone itself are probably gonna end up leaning more cool, like more blues and greens. So to have some variety and to make him stand out, he'll probably be warm colored. So either red or maybe yellow. I guess orange could work too. I could do orange. But yeah, definitely warm tones. That much I definitely know. Alright, that's looking great. I need to do some sculpting on that hair a little bit. My Pokemon stream with Shay. Good afternoon, Kay Roberts. That sounds cool. Robert, today we are working on terrain. Yes, that is absolutely correct. I've got this Lizardman piece that I started last week, and I'm getting the grisaille on it because I am either going to use it just straight as a terrain piece or I'm going to turn it into a diorama piece. I haven't fully decided yet, but that's where I'm at with it. So this terrain piece specifically, Neo, is representing one of the old ones, which is the like elder beings for the Seraphon group, which are basically the Lizardmen. Oh, I keep moving them out. One moment, let me go grab one. I have it on in the other room on the table. So let me just go pop out and I'll grab that real fast and show you what it is. Yeah, it's a, well, he's specifically a frog, because the old ones are just basically big ass fat frogs that sort of float around. There is one that is still like, there might be more than one, but there's one in particular that I know that is still used in the game as an old one, and it is like, but he's like undead. He's still for the Seraphon, I believe. Like he's not for the undead factions, but he's so old, I think he's basically a lich or something like that. So very, very fun. Let me go grab my lizards and I'll show you. Here they are. Just one on my Croxagores. But yeah, so these are the Seraphon, and it's one of their like big bad magic wielding versions of themselves. Oh, is Lord Croak not actually an old one? My bad, I'm sorry. He's just a slam then.
Yes.
I see. Okay, that was my misunderstanding.
In 40K, the old ones are slang.
Oh, okay, that's my bad. So my predominant knowledge of the old ones, or slan, I guess, is from the 40K side. I actually don't play AOS myself that much, like despite having an army. I've played a little bit of Spearhead, but that's pretty much it. Here's one of the other ones, by the way. So this is my like main color scheme for most of my warriors and stuff. It's this like blue, steel blue Croxagore scales. Really, really liked how they turned out. Let's not put too much pressure on that, Angela. We don't want to break his little strap. Yeah, sorry, that was my bad. I thought it worked in the same way that like it did in 40K, so my bad, my bad. Oh, thank you, Neo, thank you. Okay, but okay, good to know that he was a servant of the old ones, but not himself an old one. But he is undead now. Is that correct? Like, because Lord Croak, I believe, is the one that I'm thinking of. He's the undead one. Is he actually undead, or is he just like albino? Because I feel like everybody I see who gets him paints him like as a white-toned croak.
He's a skeleton.
Oh, he is actually a skeleton. Okay, I thought he was undead.
Yeah, he's a lich.
Okay. All right, good to know. So I wasn't wrong on that. I was just wrong about...
He's an ethically lawful neutral lich.
An ethically lawful neutral lich. I mean, that makes sense. They are lizardmen after all. You're currently working on a lion? Nice. Like a scale model one or like a miniature or what kind of lion? Down, Lucius. We're working on your video. Oh, the lion, not a lion, the lion. Oh my gosh. My apologies to Lionel Johnson, Primarch of the First Legion, the beautiful Dark Angels. I'm sorry. I thought you meant a lion like I did. I should have known. I should have known. I don't know why I thought you meant a lion. You know what it is? You know what it is? There's a guy that I know that really likes to build and paint and do little dioramas using safari animals, and he did a lion one recently, and so my head was just on that. Like, I don't know why I misread and like read it as the, like a lion, not the lion, but I read it as a lion. There's clearly a the there, though. Angela, don't be such a fool. Don't be such a fool and embarrass yourself. Boop. It's fine, it's what I do. How's he coming along? What step are you at? Are you like working on his like armor? Are you on his face? Like how did you break it up? how much are you either loving or hating it? I have many questions. So far you're loving it, still base coating the armor and shield, nice. It's true, Neo. And I do that every time I stream, basically. There's something I'll do that'll embarrass myself. It's cool. I'm not that worried about it. Your recent cat project was researching an old Vietnam tour jacket. Pliku 67 to 68 had a tiger and South Vietnamese character meaning happiness. Oh, that's awesome. I randomly saw a Vietnam vet in Taco Bell the other day. Like hat.
Humans, Angela.
Oh no, I know. I just more meant like he was like decked out and like he had the jacket and like a hat on and like all saying like vet, and I was like, damn, nice. And I was polite and I thanked him for his service. I'm gonna take a look real fast at some images of this old one head. Let's just see what people... All right, so GW has a lot of that. What?
Just someone running Aurora in their team.
Someone's running Aurora. Oh my goodness. I don't really need the gray as much as I need the white now. How do I want to... I kind of like... So GW's example of this is very dark. Like, boy gets real dark. And I don't dislike it specifically, but I think it is a little darker than I want to go. But I do think I like the green... Like, I don't know if it's meant to be green stone or green metal. I feel like it should be stone, though. What's like a good green stone? Like in not like a gemstone, like just a rock. That maybe I could look up to sort of mimic. And also to determine whether or not I want to push this grisaille further and make it a bit more extreme, or if I want to leave it where we're at. One thing I am gonna do while I give you guys a little bit of time to potentially consider rocks. What a request. I'm going to do some touch-up because I want to make sure a couple things get very pale. I want this grisaille to be pretty clean on them, like that frog, for example, because I want to really let those contrast paints do their thing. And he's very small. A very small little boy. I'm just gonna enhance his little textures. There's also a couple like skulls that I think I want to brighten as well. I'll probably end up brightening them further because after like cleanup, but if I can get them started relatively bright, that process will be way easier. Yeah, see, there's such nice like details in there. I might also kind of there. That looks way cooler. Also, I think I'm going to try to brighten his teeth a bit. Because they're so recessed, I do want them to stand out a bit more, you know? So if I make them unnaturally bright, I think they'll be fine. Yes, I do remember you saying that. Sweet. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Okay, there. The teeth we got popped out. Where's that little frog? There's the little frog. I'm gonna switch to a slightly finer detailed brush. Like this one. This one will do. This one will do quite nicely. Because he is quite small. Such a small little guy. There, now you can see a little bit better. You know, he may be a lizard. I'm not sure if he's a frog or if he's just a lizard, but... I think he's a lizard. Maybe he'll evolve into a lizard man. Oh my god, maybe he'll turn into a little chameleon skink. He kind of looks chameleon-esque. Alright, that looks better. And then I think one of the other things I may want to clean up a smidge is these like baubles. I feel like I may want to make them... Am I going to make them gemstones? Do I make them pretty gemstones or do I leave them as just big old chonky painted rocks? Heck yeah, I look forward to it. Jade would, oh, you know, jade is a good idea. Jade is a good idea. The emerald, I think, would be too glistening. Like, I think that's gonna be too, let's see. Let's do a quick Google search. Green stones. Ooh. why are you taking me to go to Amazon? I don't want Amazon. Verdite might be, ooh, malachite. Malachite might be good. Oh, I do like, okay, here, let me look up malachite and I'll show you guys. Like, this is malachite. So I'm thinking maybe something, like, obviously I won't be able to quite do as crazy of the patterns maybe, but I might be able to with some further dry brushing. Like doing the grisaille, continuing what I'm doing here, doing green and then dry brushing additional green on top to give it that sort of pattern. I think I want to make it look malachite-esque. I really like those green tones. Like, look how pretty it is when it's smoothed too. And I feel like this with the striations and stuff can get a little bit of maybe some of that pattern. Maybe I can even... Okay, all right. I kind of like what I'm doing. Let me get you a bit better into focus. I'm giving myself an essence of the pattern on the flat side because I think it's going to come more naturally on the sides. It's this flat side that I don't think it's going to show as much, but I'm going to try to follow the actual seams that I have to create it a bit more naturally. And I think by going this extra effort, this means I have to turn it into like a diorama piece because I feel like this effort's too much for terrain. I'm also going to do a little bit of a mix. Now I'm just having fun. Now we're just... Should go with Turconite? Okay, hold on. Let me see what Turconite is. Turconite. Oh, like turquoise. I do like, oh, it's really blue. No, I like the malachite look better. I apologize. I do see what you're saying. I do enjoy the turquoise. I didn't know it was called turquoise. But I think I want to go with the more bold green. Oh no, I totally understand. I appreciate the suggestions though.
Well, he failed to qualify.
No!
I think he didn't understand how to play, and he was too drunk, and just failed.
Oh no.
Because there was one person missing, and they're like, who's missing? Wubby? And Wubby was like, hi guys, I was trying to lay low. I don't know what he did over the 3 hours.
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
I'm not sure.
Pound him mercilessly. Do I like how this is going? Let's keep going and see where we end up at. What happened? Ah, so good. Do I like that a bit more? I think I do. All right, so I'm kind of basing it off of this one right here, the one that my thumb is by. Definitely need to connect them a bit more. I'm gonna go with more of just a pure gray. I mean, it kind of, like, it looks cooler on the camera than I feel like it does to me in real life. I think I also just need to do more. Oh, what I also want to do is kind of rough it up a little bit. That actually helped, because I wanted it to blend a bit more. All right, I'm gonna work on like this one over here.
I'm out. They can make a new lobby for every race,
Wow.
which they just learned.
Oops. Oh, that's not good. I just imagine that's gonna fuck up their, or slow them down a lot. Okay. We're making it work. We're making it work, chat. Chaos Cultist, can you do me a favor and tell me if I would like a second opinion on whether or not this is looking malachite-like?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Based on the image I was shown. Yes.
Excellent.
However, I am not a busty anime grad student who focuses on geology.
Okay, that's true. You know, I was wondering why, like, specifically stones were in my head. I forgot we watched that this morning. What was it called? Ruri's Rocks?
That's the English name, yes.
Yeah, okay, so we just started this adorable slice of life, I guess?
Yeah, it just came out, first episode came out 2 days ago.
Yeah, the first episode just came out 2 days ago on, what was it, Crunchyroll?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, on Crunchyroll. And it's called Ruri's Rocks. And it's about this, like, high schooler, I think?
I would say junior high.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she's junior high or high school, but she's like she's a student, and she is at a shop. Literally, the show starts, she's at a like shop, she's looking at crystals. And she really wants to buy this crystal thing, but she can't afford it. So she goes home and like begs her mom. Mom's like, no, you can't have that. Your grandfather used to find rocks like that, though, like those clear crystal cylindrical ones. She talked about quartz on a path when he used to go get herbs, blah, blah, blah. So she goes out there.
This is an educational anime.
It's totally an educational anime about crystals and rocks and geology. And it's actually really cool. We've watched like the first episode because there's only one out right now. At least in English.
Yeah,
Or
there's only one. I'll keep telling you.
Yes.
It came out 2 days ago.
Yes.
I
So
told her this 10 times. She keeps forgetting.
it's not that I forgot. I just
I
stumble over myself, and I end up repeating myself a lot. And it's so freaking cute. Also, the women are like all thick in like the best ways.
And adults.
And adults. And I learned so much about garnet today. It was very cool. And how rocks travel in the rivers.
I try to find her things that'll make her happy to placate her, and so the rage is put off another day.
That's true. We don't want corn to overtake me.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, it's super cute, and yeah, now I want to make this look like malachite. They are the best, aren't they? Okay, I think that's looking good. Okay, don't go to sleep on me. I need to see. Silverback Creations, I'm glad you caught a live stream. Lovely to have you in chat. Oh no, he thought he found a ruby, but it was just a cooked imperial garnet. What does that mean exactly, that it was cooked? Like, did it like get blasted with something? Is that what you mean by cooked? Oh, well, thank you. I'm really glad. I'm actually hoping to turn this terrain piece into a fantasy-themed diorama. Lots of aquariums are cooked quartz? Okay, got it. Heating it used to modify the color. Ah. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's cool. Did not know that. Like, it makes sense that you could heat various stones and like change their pigments and everything. I just didn't realize that was one of the way, or that was used in aquariums. Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to see what you bring to Adepticon next year. Do you have anything like specifically in mind already, or are you still in the planning process? I'm curious. Yeah, so right now it would be on it would sit on the table like this. So you'd be seeing this from top down. I think I want to rough this up just as, oh, maybe a little too much, but we'll make it work. I'm actually going to pull out my Mechanicus. Nope, that's Skaven. Where's Mechanicus Standard? Is Mechanicus Standard in that top row there on that one?
Yeah, it might be.
Perfect, thank you. Oh yeah, okay. This is gonna be great because I wanna punch down some of these.
Make it watery.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've done. Yeah, I definitely want it to look like it's been polished but then broken. Which I definitely feel would be something like what we're seeing with these. Oh, that sounds really cool, Silverback. I like it. I don't have any good ideas for that, Lee, but it's a cool idea. Like, I like the concept. Heck yeah. I bet the Frostgrave minis are really cool. Oh, no problem, Colin. Thank you so much for hanging out and while you could. Good luck in the office tomorrow. Try not to work too hard. I really like this section. Like that, I feel like actually visually is looking like some of these stones. I was like, what am I doing? Does this look good? Is this rock look like a rock enough? I know. That's like I'm at this awkward step at art where I'm like, okay, well, I like kind of what I'm doing, but it's definitely at that awkward stage, and I'm not sure it's going to work, but we're gonna
Keep pushing.
keep pushing. Exactly. I think it will. I think it might end up looking quite striking, actually. And that's my hope. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. Whoop. Right as I was bringing it up to do a closer inspection and change my focus, it's like, nope, camera has been on for 30 minutes. Goodbye. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I think we want this to actually be a little darker. Let's see if we can. Pump that up a bit. Does this rock look like a rock enough? Funny. It doesn't look like Dwayne Johnson. Sorry, wrong rock. I knew somebody in chat was gonna make that joke. I knew somebody would. But you're right. It doesn't look enough like Dwayne Johnson. Okay, we're going back to our lighter colors to start drawing some more shapes. So we also are going to need to do it up here. I mean, I don't know. He's got a pretty big head, but maybe not a big enough forehead. You're right. Oh yeah, he was in that film recently, wasn't he? Oops, my reference went to sleep. Oh, thank you. Yeah, he is, isn't he? He is delightful. And we're painting fun patterns with way too bright of a white. All right. Got a couple more swirls going of our malachite. My reference. We're going to put this where you guys can kind of see it. I think I need a little bit more paint. I think I got a little too watery. Yeah, no, I'm actually planning on using it for, I think I'm going to use it for a diorama instead of just a standard terrain piece, because I don't know how often I would use it as terrain. So right now I think my plan is going to be to paint it up, and then I haven't decided if I want to make it the Lizardmen are on it, or if it's like humans have discovered it. But that's the direction I'm leaning. Is like one of those two directions. Either having Lizardmen exploring it, or having oh my god, yes, I could have the Mechanicus explore it. There you go. That actually could be kind of fun, mixing the two. I do kind of like that idea. And now I can also have the excuse of not making it look exactly like malachite, because it can just be an alien stone. Hmm. An ambush diorama? Oh, that would be cool. It's looking good. I like how kind of made a really big ring around this section. I want to see if I can continue that maybe along here. Trying to incorporate maybe this seam a little bit into it. Oh, I was like, where did my dry brush go? Excuse me. Okay, now that we've gotten like to this edge, I want to try to create this more bubbly pattern. That happens because I've been doing a lot of this, the big swirly. Oops, sorry. I've been doing a lot of like this style stuff. So now I want to create like this more irregular rounded part. And I think the best way to do that might actually be to it might be to sort of dab, to sort of almost pointillism it a little bit. Oh, totally, totally. It's way too clean right now, but I'm gonna put like growths and like plant life and all sorts of things. So hopefully it'll end up looking quite cool. That is way too bright. Let's knock that white down a bit, please. Thank you. Okay. Do you think I'm gonna need the smaller brush for a bit more control? Probably a bit more gray into this. I feel like I'm still way too bright. A little bit easier because they need to be blooming away from this space. It's from a box set. It is actually from
Warcry.
Yeah, it's from a Warcry set that came with. I still am actually not 100% sure if it's Idenith Deepkin or Lumineth Realm Lords, but it was Lumineth Realm Lords or Idenith Deepkin versus Night Haunts, because you can see here is the I think they're realm lords because they have horses, but they might be Idoneth Deepkin because they also have a lot of like teal and such. But they also came with Night Haunts, but it came randomly with this Lizardmen terrain piece, and it's a Warcry set. And I participated in Hobby Vice's Ho Hobby Holidays, I think is what it was called. I can't remember exactly, but basically it was a blind box, or not blind box. It was a Secret Santa event that he ran, and I signed up for it. And this was one of the things that my Secret Santa sent me. And because I had mentioned in like the form that I filled out when I was doing it that I had a Lizardman army. So my assumption is the person that maybe sent this to me either had got this Warcry set either for the Night Haunts or the Elves and didn't really want the terrain piece because they're like, well, it's a Lizardman terrain piece. I would rather it have been something tied to the Elves or the Night Haunts in this set, but whatever. And so they sent it to me because I was interested in Lizardman stuff. So I am super hyped to be working on it. And yeah, it's been very cool. I'm going way above and beyond what I need to with it because I specifically want to use this in sort of a diorama piece. And I'm hoping what I end up doing, I keep facing it the wrong way, ends up looking cool. Or it'll look like garbage and I'll just paint over it and do it more like a traditional rock. I mean, it kind of is doing it. I think I need to bring in some darker color tones again, like to pop those shadows, but you know, honestly, it's kind of doing it. Oh, that was way heavier than I meant it to be. Cooked alien stone by Exterminatus, of course. It's true. I do like the idea of making it something that like the Mechanicus have sent someone down to explore. Because the one problem that I have with making it like Lizardmen on it or something is I want to use my Lizardmen for my army. And I don't want to just like glue them down to a terrain piece. Ooh, that would be kind of cool, having like maybe a lizard man or something, like, or two, like prowling above. That would could be fun. Oh, I could get, because that way I could just get like maybe a like one of the underworld sets or something like that, and use like a lizardman from that instead of getting like a full squad. Do you like that? Just want to. Because some of these are actually quite like smooth. So, you know, this is one that's more, okay, I say that and then like all the ones that we look at. But like if you look in like this group, right? If you look in this group of rocks, some of them are actually like, they don't have a lot of patterns going on in them. Some of them have really extreme patterns going on in them. And that kind of seems to be the case. So I want to see if I can like smooth it a little bit. Okay. And see, the nice thing is by doing it all in black and white, when I just put the green over top of it, hopefully I don't have to do much more and it'll already look pretty sick. That's my hope. That is my hope. Trying to bring a little bit more of this pattern in over here. Okay, I like that because it's going to be a bit more subtle. Like I'm looking specifically at this section versus like this section. think this, like, I like, it's so annoying because I really like how this looks, but I'm worried it's too bright. I mean, I guess there are some sections that are just really bright. But I think I need to fix this and have it blend into what's going on over here more, because otherwise it's looking a little strange. Little strange. I did. I got rid of the little heart. It looked too much like a heart, and I was like, I don't know if I want, like, it's cute. You know what? I did. I got rid of it. Let's put it back in. We had too much water. There. Now it's a little bit more of a heart again. Oh, this is, oh, I like this. Okay. Actually, this is great. This is great. This is great. Because I can now sweep this line here and it ends into the crack. And it looks like it's going into that one. Actually, can I change? Okay, I think what I need to do is fill that all in. So did that just solve my problem? Honestly, yeah, I think it did. Because we can still create a little subtle ring pattern. When now it's way softer. That's better. That's so much nicer. But still, we still got our little heart. Exactly. Exactly. When in doubt, listen to your heart. All right, so we add that back in. I really like this, what's happening here, and I really, for the most part, like what's happening here. I think it's a little, I don't know if I like what's going on here-ish. Maybe if I close that. And connect. I think that's what it is. I think I just needed to connect that. And I think I'm going to fill that in. Oop. Let me give the camera a break for a sec and we'll bring it right back. Let's see. What does it look like when it's like more raw? I mean, it's still pretty swirly. Yeah, that's still pretty swirly in there. Okay, cool. I was just trying to get like look at maybe a bigger chunk. Because that is definitely what we have going on in that texture. Oops, hold on. Like that texture is definitely what we have going on there. But I definitely want it to look, because this is the part where it broke off, I want it to have those smooth rings in there. Yeah, okay, let's continue this along. I also need a bit more white. Hello, Cybot. How are you doing? Oh, excellent. I'm glad you're trying to get into some painting more, and the stream might help you. Oh no, that's fine. Honestly, like painting board game miniatures, super fun. I think anybody who has only painted Warhammer and never painted any board game miniatures might enjoy it. It's kind of refreshing. Like it's like a refreshing change from doing like Warhammer or Age of Sigmar or anything like that, any of the GW minis. What board game minis are you specifically trying to paint? Anything I might know?
How's it going?
It's going well. Sorry, I got really focused on what I was doing, and I think I'm liking what what it's turned into.
Is it turned into a plastic miniature?
Yes, with paint on it.
Impressive.
My God,
I mean, earlier it was a gerbil.
that is true. So basically,
Oh no, I really like the pattern.
yeah, because I didn't want it to be like super swirly, and when it's raw, it's a bit more like bubbly.
I get it.
And even
No, it looks great.
thanks. Yeah, I just want to do something like make it look like it's made of a sort of a fancy stone.
Yeah. Like jade or something.
Yeah, well, because I didn't want it to quite be like. Yeah, I thought of jade, but I felt like that was a little too Cathay. And so instead I went with malachite because I like the brighter, like it was a little bit brighter toned.
And a good general in Sailor Moon.
True, yes. I was wondering why that name was feeling so like prominent in my head. You've been painting for 4 hours today. You started your Tau. They're going to be blue armor and helmets with purple clothes. That's awesome. Good combo of colors, in my humble opinion. Are you mostly working on like your basic troops right now, or are you working on any of the cool like suits? Because Tau always gets like really cool suits.
Armani.
Yes, exactly. Armani suits. Nice. Bye, Kay Roberts. See you later. Glad you were able to get your project done. Or at least the steps today, then. All right, I think I want to actually darken some areas. This side has a little bit of a darker ring on the outside. I think it makes sense to bubble a bit more of this darker color in here. And if I hate it, I can go back and fix it. I think this was a good choice. Because I'm looking at this like really big piece and look how beautiful that is. How cool that looks. Yeah, so it's a what it is it's a slan or old one ruin for the Lizardmen. And I am specifically painting on this pattern because I want to make it look like the stone is malachite, which if you've not seen malachite, it's you probably have. Like you've probably seen it before. It's this really cool green and like whitish looking stone that looks kind of bubbly. Like this is it polished up and cleaned, but it also can look like that raw. Like it's a little bit more like rough, but when it polishes, it's really cool. And I kind of like the idea that this was polished. And we got to see some of the patterns maybe on the broken edges because they ended up showing up a bit more. In other words, I decided to go crazy with it. Mostly because this is an experimental piece for me that I'm going to be using in like a diorama or something. So I'm not super worried about really anything about it. And I'm painting in a gray tone right now. It will be green, but I am painting in the gray tone right now because I want to basically do a wash over top of it and create the finished look with just using contrast colors is the idea. We'll see how it works. I might have to end up doing some like dry brushing or like manual highlighting, but I'm hoping that this gives me a really good foundation. This is really starting to come along, actually. Ooh, I could make it so that like it's the Mechanicus who started to polish it. I like that idea because they're like, oh, this is so pretty. So they started to polish the broken piece. Yeah, it's looking pretty, like it is looking pretty cool on screen, I think. So we need to do a little bit of the similar work up here. So what I'm thinking is maybe having some of the polish sides focusing on like this on this side and having the bubbly part be a bit more here. Okay, yeah, that's looking cool. And then let's do another. Little line there. All right, I like that. I like that. Gives me a little bit of an idea for just felt like that needed to be brighter. Maybe I made it too bright though. I may have made it too bright. Oh, I think I did. Okay, that's fine. I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix it. Maybe rework this section. As much as I've liked it, I feel like I need to rework this center. I think it's a little too triangular. I think it needs to be a little rounder. I think like it's like this line right here that's bothering me. What happens if I just get rid of that? Honestly, yeah, I think that did it. That one line coming down was like really bugging me. back in and highlight these little lines. Some of them got a little bit lost. Amongst everything else that was going on. Honestly, it's looking pretty cool. I'm gonna put the little tiny white heart back in. I will in just a moment. You know, it's funny. I don't know why I'm bothering to do all the freehand work other than
You want to.
I want to.
And I think that's a fine enough reason.
No, honestly, I do too. It's just, it's not normally, like, normally I don't quite do that.
It's good focus.
It is. I'm also just having fun.
My God.
My gosh.
Fun is not allowed.
Ah. You think?
Oh yeah, and I think you're probably suffering from like the artist who looks at it too much and sees the flaws.
Yeah, no, and I'm honestly, I'm actually feeling pretty good about it because I'm trying to do a combination. Like I found this really big piece of malachite, which I just like thinks look really cool, but I still wanted to do some of that raw because I think the story that's forming in my head, and you may have already heard this a little bit, is like that the mechanics have come in and started polishing it themselves. And so that's why like some of it's polished, but not all of it's going to be.
Cool.
But yeah, I think I am going to take a little 5 to 10 minute break here since we are just after 3 o'clock and it is break time. Snack and water break. Heck yeah. Let's go. So you guys should all go get refreshments if you need to as well. Use the restroom, grab a new project, get yourself a little snack, make sure to drink some water. Refreshing. You can put a little flavorant in there if you need to, but whatever you got, but stay refreshed. Stay refreshed and stay hydrated. All right, guys, I'll see you back in about 5 or 10 minutes. Oop, we're not going to end. Sorry, ignore the end screen that briefly popped on there. Now, goodbye. I'll see you in 5 to 10. Bye. And we're back. I got myself some Teddy Grahams because I'm an adult. I'm gonna drink some more water. And we're going to continue this malachite painting. I say. That's actually what Chaos Cultist does, is he also flavors his water with caffeine. He'll drink just like normal straight water as well, but like.
But I have a caffeine addiction, and to try and drink less soda, I have the Mio energy additives.
Exactly. My problem is I just don't like the flavorance of those additives.
Well, maybe you'd like a different flavor than what
I've tried.
I've very different flavor tastes.
We do, but I've also tried different ones. Like I've tried the strawberry banana one, which is like one that I would like.
I mean, if you don't like punch, like fruit punch, you're just not gonna like any of them.
That's kind of my problem. Is I just am not a big fruit punch.
Yeah, they're all variants of fruit punch at the end of the day.
Yeah, and so I think that's my problem. Which is weird because I like fruit. So you'd think I'd like fruit punch, but I just...
Well... that doesn't really line up at all. You know that.
Fair enough. I guess that's true. They're probably just too artificial flavoring. Like, to be, like, real...
We have 152 plastanium.
Hey! Is that a lot, or is that a little?
No, but hey, it's the first time we've had that much.
Heck yeah. Aren't we all caffeine addicts? I know I am. There's a reason why most streams you see me have a soda. Very caffeinated soda. Looking cool. Oh, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Like that or like Red Bull. I feel like that's like devs tend to have like a couple of very specific caffeine weaknesses, and Mountain Dew definitely tends to be one of them. You were 8 when you started drinking coffee? My goodness. I mean, I was pretty young when I started drinking soda, I'll give you. But like my parents specifically were like, no, you cannot have coffee. That's an adult drink. My mother also did not drink coffee. My father did. He used to drink a lot of coffee and then switched to decaf, but okay, I like what's happening here. I do want to, it just kind of looks like it stops right there, so I do want to connect that so it doesn't look like it just stops. Should I blossom it out? I think maybe from this spot. No, I think I'm gonna keep going. I think I'm gonna actually make it a little bit of a bigger chunk. So, which will require me to get the white back out. My goodness. Well, it's supposed to kind of be good for you, right? Coffee. So. Oh. Oh, my camera turned off. Got it back on. There we go. Let's get these textures going to the edges. And come back in with a little bit of a darker tone. To make these lighter tones stand out a bit more. And we're looking good. I should bring up my reference though. Might need a bit more Mechanicus gray. You're trying to decide if you want to buy a wet palette or not. So I normally paint out of the pot. I do tend to work with a dry palette. I like using these gray toned, let me see what they specifically say. And actually here I can, so here's my current setup. It look from like a really far distance. I need to tone that down. I think that's a little too bright. And or maybe the darks are too dark, but popping out a little too much. I think I don't know, it could work really well. I really like what's happening here. And I do like the subtle transition into stuff here. Like this does look really cool. I think I need to do more work up here. What was I saying? Right, palettes. So I do have a wet palette and I have used it and I do like it. I don't use it for contrast paints because I find that they just get everywhere very quickly because they just kind of run into the water and go. But they work great for opaques. I have not used any wet palettes with metallic color tones yet, but I've been told that they can sometimes, like the metallic pigments can get mixed into your other paints because again, it gets into the water. So if you do decide to get one for metallics, maybe have a separate one for that, but that feels a little excessive. Yes, you can absolutely make your own wet palettes using paper towels, parchment paper, and I think you like just get a water sealable container so that you can keep everything wet. But so there's totally ways to do it without purchasing one. I've never tried that myself, so do not ask me how specifically. I know that there are ways to do it, but what I use is, like I said, I'm pretty decent about not putting an over, like a wasteful amount of paint onto my palette where I feel like it is actually getting wasted and I'm having to spend a ridiculous amount of time on, or money on like buying new paints because I run out of them because I'm using them up too fast, which I know is one of the reasons a lot of people use wet palettes, right? But for me, I use this dry palette, and it's specifically this Jack Richardson hashtag not sponsored gray matters paper palette. So it's just it's a gray paper palette, and the reason I like the gray is because it's a neutral tone that I find tends to show me what my true colors actually are, especially since I tend to work with a grisaille where there's a lot of gray tones anyways. So it kind of tells me what my color is going to look like over gray even before I've put it onto the palette in a certain degree. It's not like the best explanation. I've heard other far more intelligent artists talk about why it's good to use a gray palette, but it's basically about its neutrality because whites are going to make your colors look like, if you have a white palette, it's going to make your colors potentially look a little brighter visually to you, like with your eyeballs, than they actually are because they're against white. And in the same way, if you use a black palette, it's going to make your colors look darker to your eye than they may actually be because it's against black. Whereas the gray keeps a bit more neutral. And so you're seeing that true, here's what your color looks like. That's the theory, at least. And I find that it tends to work pretty well. I'm going to see if I can. And then I think we need to take care of this. This is where we're also starting to get a little weird. All right, let's zoom back in so you guys can get a better view. Okay. All right, we can do this. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this entire section right here, and we're gonna rework it because this is the problem area. And blend that in a little bit. Cover up our mistakes. They do. Army Painter does have a wet palette. I've tried that one. It's nice. I do like it. The one that I use predominantly right now is actually from a company you can buy from online, but it's this one here. Exemplar from Game Envy. One of the reasons, of course, I like it is I'm biased. It's purple. But I actually just find, because I've tried the Army Painter one, which I liked. I've tried the Redgrass Games one, which I've had no problems with really either. But I've also tried this one, and I don't know, I like the way this one seals. It feels a little bit more secure to me. But that's the one I use. Okay, so this is looking more cleaned up, which is good. All right, let's start painting in some of these darker lines. Okay, yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create another little bubble here. And then a larger one that sort of scales this way. What turns into the more raw stuff. Okay. What is happening here? What was I thinking? It's an excellent question, chat. I don't know. Yes. Yeah, it's a pretty neat one. Ooh, you went Battletech? Nice. What are you painting Battletech wise, Nighthawk? Oh, I'm so glad my stuff was helpful with that. Yeah, I love painting Battletech miniatures. They're so fun. I like them too because like if I admit they have actually way more variety. Whereas because I feel like sometimes people are like, "Oh, BattleTech miniatures are really simple," because they're a little like old school, I suppose, with their design to a certain degree. But I'm like, I don't know. I actually think they have a fun amount of detail. They're pretty variety or they have a lot of variety amongst them, considering everything is meant to just be a battle mech. You know what I mean? Oh, nice. You start with a bigger inner box. Sick. Honestly, it's such a good starter box. Like, genuinely. Oh, that's so cool. It's great when you can get your kids into the games too. That's fantastic. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with like how it's coming along. I need to like clean up here. I feel like it just kind of looks like it ends. And I don't like that. I think I need to do that with correction with darker color actually. But I think we're getting there. We're making some good progress. I don't know why I got more water on my brush. I have so much on this palette right now. So it totally is meant to. I am trying to make it look like malachite. My concept started as rock. And then I was like, that's boring. I want to do something more exciting than just normal like granite or something like that, right? And I like what GW did in their paint job, which is green. So I was like, okay, let's look up some green rocks. Because I don't want to just do like jade, that feels a little too Cathay. Slash like, I mean, really just like Cathay. I don't know what they would be considered in Age of Sigmar. I don't even know if Cathay exists in Age of Sigmar. But because I want this to be a bit more well-rounded, and I'm going to use it in a diorama rather than just as a pure terrain piece, I was like, okay, jade feels too Cathay. So, and I want this to feel a little bit like different. And I want to kind of have a little bit more of that deeper green color tone, which jade I know gets pretty deep, but it also can be a little more vibrant. And so I was like, ooh, let's look up some green stones. Malachite came up. So if you're not familiar with malachite, this is what it looks like. This is when it's polished. So it creates these really cool bubbly patterns. And that's sort of what I've done here. And then this stuff here is where it ends up being a little bit more like when it's raw. So it gets a little bit more like tighter and a little denser, like the circles aren't as obvious. And so my thought then is like, okay, if I'm going to use this as a diorama, originally I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll just put Lizardmen on it, right? And then Chaos Cultist had a great idea of making it a 40K diorama and having Adeptus Mechanicus studying it.
I've heard of them.
And then somebody in chat, I can't remember which of you in chat, suggested having the AdMech be there still, but then having like a little lizard man like sneaking around. And I love that idea. So that's where we're going. That is where we're going. Honestly, it does look pretty cool. I think I need to soften this a smidge. Which honestly we might be able to do when we just start adding the green to it. Because I like how soft this texture ends up getting. Like it's not as bold as what is here, and I think that works. Because all of, let's see, when they painted it, they didn't do this brow in gold, but I almost want to do it in gold. I guess it's not really part of his, I guess it is just part. So I need to do a little bit of this pattern onto some of this texture work is what I'm learning. Which I think will be fine. Okay, so I've got it coming a little bit down onto there. And since they carved this stuff, I want to make it a little bit more subtle. I'm just going to gently sort of speckle some of that more raw pattern onto, like, around the eyes, where it starts to be way more sculpted. Hello, IDC. How you doing? So I'm really glad, Nighthawk, that it reminded you of a geode, because I was going for fancy rock. Which means I've succeeded, yay. Okay, I think we need to punch down these grays a little bit, or these white spots, and or clean up a little bit. So yeah, I think they just need to be punched down. They're way too bright. Oh my God, you're right. Add some peppermint smell to it. Oh my gosh, that'd be fun. I wonder how long it would actually last. Just staring at it from a distance for a second. Do I like that? Hold on, I need to look at my reference. Okay. I do, but I want to clean up some of these darker lines. You have not missed anything good. I have done more work on my texture. My boy's looking real beautiful and busy, but I think it's gonna look really cool once I got the green on it. I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup and a little bit of work around this because I'm still not fully satisfied with it. Not that I'm aware of. Hmm. Okay, now to fix this section, because this is where I feel like it's really bugging me. Ooh, nice. Conversions are fun. I haven't done too many of them myself, but they are always really cool to look at. Like, I love seeing what people do with their conversions and such. Especially on the Xenoforces. I feel like, I mean, you can get some really cool conversions with Space Marines, don't get me wrong. But I do think sometimes you get some even cooler concepts with the Xeno races just because they're a little bit more exotic. They're already more like flamboyant sometimes with their designs and what GW is willing to put on them and give you as parts. And so I think you can find wilder 3D prints and other parts to enhance them and then make it look a bit more integrated and seamless into GW's, own concept. Whereas Space Marines, you can still do that. Sometimes it looks really jarring. Okay. I like that. I think we need to do a little bit of dark color swirls on this side. Just because we've got the potential for some patterns. So I'm going to try to work it into the actual design a bit more. Because this is all broken and, oh, hold on, let me get the hammer back for you guys. There we go. All right, let's go in here. Again, not doing anything dramatic on this one, kind of wanting it to be a bit more subtle. Not too subtle. Why I'm going to do this one a little larger and a little bit wetter. So get it nice. So we can get an obvious pattern, but not have it be crazy.
You never put the booster on the assault.
Oh, you know, I actually just realized I don't know if I have the booster. That might be why. I may have forgotten to do it because I may have forgotten to make it.
Remember I kept calling that out?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Yep.
Dang it. Darn it. I had such a faux pas with our assault.
Fair, if the game didn't fuck up, it would have been fine.
It's true, but it was something that I feel like I probably could have avoided. And
if you had done what I asked, yes.
Yes, and I didn't because I'm a dumbass. So basically, let me explain to you what happened, chat. Thank you for subscribing, Oak. It's lovely to have you here. May you last a long time and be strong and sturdy. So we were playing Dune Awakening. I was flying our delightful assault ornithopter, and I parked it at one of the bases per the request of both Chaos Cultist, and I needed to be there as well. However, unlike the request per the Chaos Cultist, because he had popped out before I had actually parked, he was like, go park in the parking lot. Well, I didn't realize where exactly the parking lot was, and I fucking didn't ask because I'm a dumbass. And I genuinely don't know why I didn't ask, but I didn't. So I go and I'm like, well, I'm worried about sandstorms because I'm always worried about sandstorms. And I didn't want the thing to be left out in the open. And where there was kind of like a parking lot area, I did see an open area, but I didn't realize it was covered. So I thought it was just a exposed to the elements section of the game. It was not. It was enclosed. The Thopter would have been fine. But that's not where I parked. I parked in like a crevasse next to the building we were going into where I thought it would be safe. Well, Chaos Cultist went to go get into the Thopter after said point. And as he did, the Thopter proceeded to go into the terrain.
Yep.
And we lost it. Like, Chaos Cultist was able to get everything.
It's still on the map.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Because it's protected underground.
Jeez. So yeah, I think I permanently borked one of Chaos Cultist's like vehicle slots because I lost the Thopter. Maybe one day it will like pop out randomly
and get destroyed.
And or it'll just be in there and it'll be like considered abandoned long enough that like the dev team will just be like remove.
Hopefully.
Like, I don't know if that's a thing, but like that's that's where my optimism is at this point, because otherwise I completely borked it.
Because I filed a ticket. So.
Yeah, he filed
it. And they were basically like, we can't help with vehicles. Sorry.
Which maybe isn't the best, considering vehicles are a major part of the game, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so I spent some time yesterday making us a new one, and I accidentally still forgot a part.
After I asked her 3 times, maybe 17 times, 47 times actually, not to forget.
Oops.
I may be exaggerating.
He's exaggerating. He definitely did not ask me that many times, but he did make a point of it, and I still forgot, and I feel bad. Oh my god, yes, it can emerge from the earth like a weird cryptid.
Your mom?
No, the ornithopter.
Oh, yes.
That we lost. Or that I lost.
Of course.
One day it'll emerge from the ground.
Victorious.
Victorious and like a weird cryptid. Haunted. And just looking for love because it feels like it was abandoned. Okay, this is I actually really like what's happening on the subtle side. Yeah, you guys can kind of see it. I'll show you in more detail in a sec. So I've tried to make a sort of a large ring on this side. So that the pattern's still there, but it's maybe a bit more subtle. And then I think the main thing that I need to do now is bring it a little bit into here, but I'm gonna keep, again, it really subtle. Maybe focusing it, showing here, because they sculpted this cool pattern of planets onto the face. Which I am probably gonna highlight. Actually, no, I'm gonna do, so I think what I'm gonna do for the gem that's actually still in there, and GW makes a gem paint, and I was considering actually painting the gem in that gem paint to really make it stand out. But I think that's gonna look gross because it's a thick paint. So I think I'm gonna work on this and make it brighter. Because I think I will end up contrast coloring it, but then I'll put a ard coat finish on it to make it glossy. Because I still want it to look gemstone-like. So let's go ahead and work on that. A bit more dry brushing. Should also work more on the ones in the eyes too, because those are the same gems. And therefore I will treat them the same way. Okay, that's looking good. Much brighter. I also want to do that a little bit to here. A bit on the brow. That's still wet, so don't touch it, Angela. That would be bad. That actually still has the gem in it, so we can do our dry brush here too. And the back side of the main one that's cracked. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of hand highlighting here on this back gem just to make it look a little crisp and clean, like it was a bit more polished since it's not broken. I want to feather some of my rough spots out so we could build that back up some more. too bright still. I want to go back in with some darker tones. There we go. That should be better. Do a little bit of wet blending. I think I need it. I want it to be a little bit brighter. Or like almost of the color I want. Okay, that is closer. All right, let's go ahead and just paint the entire thing in this almost white but not quite color. I think it's meant to be a little bit. It's because this is Lizardmen. It's probably not exactly the same because this is also the Age of Sigmar like universe. But I imagine it's meant to be something similar, like what's on the Necrons, like monoliths and such. Some sort of fancy magical crystal. There we go. And this last side. And this last side. Okay. Oh, they have, okay, we've got actually 3, so I need a little bit of a bigger brush. There we go. Okay, that is nearly painted. It's gonna be on the ground. Okay, that side's flush to the ground, so that's good. Okay, and then I put my fingers all over the one that I was painting. Go me. That's okay though. I needed more paint anyways. Oh, is that meant to be? I see. That's not even actually the back. Well, you know what? That's fine. Because this is all meant to be gold anyways. I'm gonna just do some dry brushing to darken it again. Because I realize it's not actually a gem on the back. It's just the enclosement. So I'm just gonna redo that. Flatten that out, darken it back up, and then dry brush some brighter colors back on to bring out some textures again. Because I didn't quite look at that right. That's the beautiful part about being at this step, is it doesn't really matter right now because we're still in our grayscale. Also, I know it's going to be the flat side, but I want to fix that because it bothers me. All right, and now we can come back in with a dry brush. Okay, I think he's good. Just like, I feel like I'm looking at it from such a distance when I'm looking at it on the screen. So I'm just inspecting it for a moment. Now the thing is that, like, how do I do a test to make sure this actually looks good? All right, what time is it? 4:35?
How's it going?
I think I'm done with the grayscale.
Is it a good stopping point for the day, you think?
I think it might be. I'm going to do one final highlight dry brush, and then I'll have you inspect. And just tell me if I'm, like, crazy or not. But
You're crazy.
Okay.
That was easy.
All right, cool. I'm doing some emphasis on the eyes. The eyeball gems. All right, that looks good. I need to smooth what I just did there. And then honestly just pop some of the edges on this gemstone. And I honestly think will be good. Trick for this, by the way, if you are not already aware of how to pull a slightly straighter line, especially on a sharp edge like this, on a crystal or any other thing that you're working on that might have a really clean, sharp edge, use the side of your brush, not the tip of your brush. It makes it a lot easier. Just sort of gently glide it, and it's just that edge that catches. And it helps you pull a really straight line without actually having to worry about pulling a straight line. It does take a little bit of practice. You may not get it the first time you do it, but I promise you it will get easier the more you do it. All right. I think it looks pretty good. And I think the crystal on the top looks good. I think the crystals in the eyes are going to pop really well. They're already a little glowy. So yeah, Chaos Cultist, can you do a quick inspection when you're not
in the... out of the deep desert.
Yes, absolutely. But I think that is going to be it for me today, barring that. I'm mainly looking to make sure the pattern blends in well enough and it's not like too busy with the crumbling edge, and then that the eyes and gems look good. Because I think what I'm going to, like I mentioned, is I think I'm going to contrast color them and then art coat them.
No, I think it looks great.
Cool. So I am extremely happy.
As you should be.
With how this guy came out. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm actually, like, the freehand was fun. I really enjoyed it. And I feel like, and maybe this is just me, but it makes it feel a little bit more South American, honestly. I don't know why the patterns give me that vibe, but I feel like because there's already so many cool, like, geometric patterns happening here, and then we get some natural geometric patterns happening within the stone itself where it's crumbled. I really like the idea. So I do think my plan with this will be to paint it up. I might still mount it to like a flatter piece of board, just so that I can have figures around it as well as on top of it. But I really like where this is going. And I think we'll put some AdMech on it and then maybe have some Lizardmen like hiding around, like ready to ambush them and or like studying them themselves. Because they're like, who are these weird freaks in the red robes who are coming around looking at our old ones and our crumbling statues. So very happy with how this is. I think the next step will honestly be, if not coating the entire thing in green, because I do think I'm going to paint it fully before I mount it to a board. I think that makes the most sense to me. So I think painting it will be our next step. And I think we'll probably get the green on there for the malachite. I need to look at my contrast colors and see which one I think will be the best for that. I'm leaning right now towards, I think it's like Eldari Emerald or something like that. It's an Eldar color. But I might end up doing 2 tones or something like that. I'll do a little bit of testing probably off camera. But I think green is where we're going next. I was debating between doing that or the metallics first, but I think I should just coat the entire thing with maybe avoiding the gem eyes. And then I can do the metallics over top and I can get a little bit of that grisaille possibly popping through because I can dry brush the metallics over top the green that I do. But anyways, I really like this. Thank you so much for joining me today. To everybody who was active and hanging out in chat, keeping me entertained, thank you so much for being here. And to everybody who was just lurking.
What's happening on Saturday?
I will tell them in a second. You guys were awesome too, those of you that were just lurking. Now, on Saturday, if you want to come hang out with me and another spicy lady, I'm going to be having the Shy Goth exhibit, also known as Shay, over on the channel right here live, and we're gonna be painting some Pokemon. I'm actually extremely excited about it. It's something she found that she wanted to paint, and I was like, girl, give it to me. I will prep it for you because they're 3D prints, so I had to do a little bit of cleanup. I'm going to wash them tonight. We're going to get them primed. And this Saturday, starting at 1 p.m., Shay and I are going to be painting up some Pokemon, and we're even going to be in costume while doing it. I will be dressed as Misty, and I believe she's planning on being dressed as Nurse Joy. So I'm very, very hyped for that. I hope you guys are as well. You'll start seeing a little bit more advertising of that probably starting tomorrow, just as we get a little bit closer. And then more than likely on Thursday and Friday, I might end up doing some normal streaming, some like normal hobby streaming. I may end up working some more on this guy, but I'll definitely be around on Saturday. I know I've got a little bit of filming and recording to do, so there's a little bit of work in the meantime, but honestly, I don't think it's going to interrupt our streaming schedule. So I'll see you guys on Thursday for more likely some more painting on this fella, and then on Saturday, for painting some Pokemon with Shay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. I have been Angela, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful hobby night. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.